We've moved on to bag 3, step 2, and the RC10SC7 build. And this is all the steering components at the front. And I gotta say, this is kind of a complex setup. Um, and we'll see. I kind of laid it all out in advance because it's got some components that I'm just not familiar with. So anyway, seems like a lot of parts and pieces, and hopefully that means this thing is just going to be an absolute beast on the track. So I'm going to do just one side at a time. I suspect it might take a little while to get through one side, so I'll just do one and then move on as far as the video is concerned. All right, we're going to start out right here and just adding the steering block. We got that. Now we have this caster block link mount, which we are going to add this ball stud to with 1mm spacer. And there are these 3 holes. These 2 were actually mounts to the caster block. And this is where that 3rd hole up front is where the ball stud's going to go, held in place by a lock nut. It looks like that's an awfully long lock nut. It's going to have a lot of exposed threads left in it, but so be it. That's what the instructions call for, and actually what they show in the picture, that there's a fair amount of exposed thread. So I'll be curious to see what's up with that. All right, so we've got that on there like that. So, all right, moving down here, we're gonna install these pivot balls into the caster block, and there is one side that has a little bit of a flange and one side that doesn't. So the side that has a flange is toward the center, and those pop in there very easily. You don't need to like use a shock tool or anything. All right, so those are in there. Now that's good. And this piece here mounts to the front. And I think I forgot to grab some screws for that. Those are 8mm. I'm just going to borrow these ones. All right, so now we've got that on there, and we're going to install our caster insert. This is the 2 and the 2.5, and that is going to go with the little, on this tiny little insert, there's a little button on the back, and that is going to go on the upward direction. I'm going to put that right in there. That's great. And then after that goes in, there is a small set screw spot right here that comes up from the bottom. And I suspect really that's just there to eliminate the insert moving around and kind of cleaning up some of the slop that might develop over time. And I think that's a pretty clever idea. So go ahead and insert that. And I'm just going to pay attention by feel. And you know what we're going to do? I'm actually going to take one of the hinge pins and run it through there just to make sure I'm not actually binding anything up. All right, that seems pretty good. All right. And then, so I've got that on there, I've got that on there. There is this tiny set screw. Well, it's not a set screw, a little tiny button head screw that goes in the back. Steering stop screw set flush with caster block to start. Well, what the heck, that doesn't work. This must be the wrong size, a 2.5 by 6. Well, maybe that's not the right thing. Here we go. I had the wrong screw set aside for that. All right, so the instructions say set flush with caster block. So I'm assuming that just means the head of the screw and not have it totally recessed. Flush with, I guess flush with would mean slightly recessed. I don't know. I might have to do a little research on that one. All right, so I'm going to make it flush so that, there we go. Okay. All right, we got that. And that came in from there. That came in from there. Now, this is going to go in here like this. All right, that's great. So that is getting the caster block and the axles all set up in there. So I've done that side, and I'm going to do the other side.